filha da minha mulher. Pois é. Mas cuidando em cima de mim. Enfim. Aí lá por cima é uma tremenda gata. Pra piorar minha situação.
Se fosse mulher feia, tava tudo certo. Mulher bonita mexe com meu coração. Se fosse mulher feia, tava tudo certo. Mulher bonita mexe com meu coração.
Welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today, we're gonna be talking about the Stockli Montero AR ski for 2024. Now, the good news is, if you're looking at buying these, they did not change anything from the 2023 to 2024. So if you find a pair of 2023s on sale, you're in luck, it's the same ski. I skied these in a 180 centimeter length, which means they have a turning radius of 17.4 meters, and they have a width of 84 millimeters underfoot. Now, typically these retail for $1,350, but you can get them on evo.com for $1,080, or right now you can get them from Ski Essentials from $944.30. I'm not sure why Ski Essentials has them for cheaper, but they do. It looks like they have all the sizes too. But if you have some Evo points or you care about that at all, I think they're both pretty good prices. Honestly, I had a hard time finding the weight online. I would guess they're about 1,800 grams per ski, but hard to say. This is definitely a beefy, kind of in the vein of race ski, but if you know the exact weight for a 180, please feel free to leave a comment down below. You can see here a very tiny amount of camber, a decent amount of tail splay, and the tails do widen out as you get further down. And your typical slalom GS ski tip splay. Now, these skis, typical to Stockli, they have 2 layers of Titanal with a wood core, and kind of per the Stockli pedigree, they have a layer of, I believe it's essentially rubber dust kind of sprinkled in. I know there's like a fancier word for it, but throughout the layers they sprinkle in like shreds of rubber to kind of dampen the ski throughout. Although different to the Storm Rider, this does not have a metal top sheet, but there are still the 2 Titanal layers overall. And then here you have this kind of race tip. It looks like rubber, but it actually feels like hard plastic. Now, first impressions were overall very positive. This ski manages to have the dimensions of what you would see in a GS ski for length, while giving you a lot of the same delivery of a slalom ski. This ski feels a lot like one of my old race skis, but with that rubber, it feels damper. It's almost like if you've ever had a sporty car, but it's a luxury brand, like I use this analogy all the time, but like a Lexus, like I have a rear wheel drive Lexus, and it's sportier, right? With the rear wheel drive, it feels good on the corners, but everything's a little bit quieter, everything's a little bit smoother. That's the way I would describe the Montero. It feels kind of like a luxury sports car. It's got that aggressive turn, it's got that like powerful turn, it feels a lot like a race ski, but they've managed to kind of quiet down a lot of the noise and a lot of the chatter that you would get out of an actual race ski. So if you're somebody who misses your old race skis, who wants something a little bit smoother and a little bit more forgiving, the Montero may be perfect for you. But that was just my first impression. Let's talk about the good, and then we'll talk about the bad. Because every ski has a downside. No matter what Stockli or anyone else tells you, there is always a drawback to the ski. For the good, I would say that this ski reminds me a lot of the Laser. In fact, I guess it's been like almost 8 years since I last skied on the Laser, but this feels a lot like their Laser series. I would be hard pressed in the last 8 years' times to tell you the difference. But there are a few differences. The biggest difference I noticed is this feels a little bit more forgiving and versatile than the Laser. The Laser was very responsive and kind of set on tracks. It could be my imagination, but it feels like these tails have a little bit more forgiveness and you can kind of sit on them a little bit better than I remember the Laser. Now, that's pretty old information, but just going off the top of my head. So with the good, we'll be primarily talking about carving because this is primarily a carving ski. Of course, just for the sake of testing, I did take it off trail, but with like heavy, warm snow or off trail, this ski really doesn't perform there that well. It can kind of survive through it, but it's not as diverse as a Black Crow's Octo or something like that, or a Volkl Kendo. This ski really wants to be on hard pack groom runs. The first good I'm going to talk about is the turns. The texture of the turns on these was very good and very smooth. Some skis, you kind of start your turn and then it kind of will jolt you out of it, or it'll kind of stretch out and it can feel a little awkward. I feel like where this ski really thrived was the texture of the turn and the smoothness of the turn. A good contrast would be the Dynastar M Pro 90. That ski, when it was on edge, felt very like kind of chattery on edge, and I didn't like the turn shape. It kind of initiated for me. If there was a ski that was opposite, this ski's turn shape felt buttery smooth. It felt stable throughout the turn. It was really a smooth treat with carving. You have to kind of find its right radius to get that good feeling all the time, but when you get there, it's just, it's so smooth, and it's a very like gradual buildup in the pressure. It's just a very finely tuned ski in the sense of timing out the turn radius, getting the ski to kind of hit that critical speed in the turn before it shoots you out of the tails. This was a really, really fun ski to kind of master and find the sweet spot of. It also has a pretty nice bite at the tips, which means, like, when I say bite, I'm talking about turn initiation, where you kind of build up pressure, get the ski to change, and where the ski kind of catches is more towards the tip, which is something I traditionally like. The other thing that I've noticed an improvement over the years, especially compared to the Laser, is with that wider tail, it gives you a better platform to kind of step off of and charge forward. I really like that in the ski. I think the wider tip is a small change, but a nice touch. Again, I haven't been on the Laser in a long time, but just going off of memory, I like the little bit of extra width in the tail because you can kind of give yourself more platform to push off of and get into your next turn. The other really good thing I felt is when you release the energy, you get a lot of it back. I don't know if that's just like Stockli's build. I felt it on a lot of Stockli skis, but I really enjoyed releasing the energy out of the tails. It just gives you everything you put into it back out, which is nice. Not every ski manages to be damp while also giving you your energy back out of the turn. It's also just a fantastic platform underfoot, very stable, always kind of holds you through that turn in a really firm way. And the thing that I found the most fun with the ski, honestly, was that it is very easy to play with the timing of the pressure, just when you build it, when you release it. It has a lot of different options for where you pressure, where you release. I think that this ski could appeal to a lot of people. There are some skis where, like Fisher, where it's like, okay, you want a ski that has really quick turn initiation, you would go with the Fisher. Or you want a ski that's gonna start your turn for you. That's the Elon Ripstick. You know, they're very specific skis for specific ski types or ski styles. This ski actually does a pretty good job across the board. I feel like you could be somebody who really wants, you know, kind of a ski that bites at the tip or kind of likes to go in the middle or releases from the back. This ski just has a lot of flexibility with its pressure and when it's gonna let you release it. So yes, they're expensive, but they apply to a broad variety of skiers. And I think that that's a real testament to the build quality in these, that they're able to cover a wide variety of ski types. You know, everybody has their own ski style. They're able to appeal to all those people without really sacrificing performance. There are other skis out there that try to be a do-it-all ski and they usually kind of fall flat on their face. This ski's not that. It's covering a really wide variety of skiers and giving you performance, which is rare. All right, now that we talked about the good, let's talk about the bad, because every ski has downsides, and the Stockli Montero AR is no exception. Obviously, these are a little bit more of a GS ski, though they do kind of push into that slalom turn radius if you really, really push them or are willing to wash out your turns a little bit. But the ski is not without its limits. First off, I will say that I think that the Montero, when you look at it as like a West Coast ski versus the East Coast, the East Coast is probably a better place for it because East Coast has more consistent snow conditions. We just get a wider variety of deep snow or warm weather or what have you, right? Like even depending on which run I'm on at my home mountain and how much sun exposure it gets can indicate what the trail is like. Sure, in December and January, that's less of a problem. But I will say that this ski is pretty limited on what snow conditions it can take. Now, if you are somewhere that always has perfect grooming and it's just always dialed in or it gets injected with water to have ice, sure, this might not be a problem for you. Especially if you're on the East Coast or in parts of the Alps, you may not even be worried about that. But this ski really struggles to have a good platform in some of those softer snow conditions. Because it doesn't have a ton of width underfoot, you can't always kind of build that platform. If the snow is willing to break away, you will not be able to kind of get your downhill foot in a really consistent way. Now, I don't think people who are looking at this ski are looking for that, but you should know. The other thing that we should talk about with the Stockli is the price. Typically, these retail for $1,349. However, right now you can buy them for $1,079. That is not cheap. So, know that you're buying something well made, you're buying something specialized, but this ski does not have a ton of diversity for what you're paying. I don't think that necessarily matters. I'm a big fan of the 2-ski quiver. I think that you should pick something that's good for carving and then something that's good for powder. But this isn't necessarily a safe bet on the West Coast. I would not want this to just sit in my car for any day because there's a lot of days where this would not be the best performer. So, the value is a little bit hard to justify and the range of snow conditions is pretty narrow. The other area where this falls a little short is the variety of turn radius. This ski is very set in its 17.9 turn radius. It doesn't have a lot of flexibility, and there aren't a lot of skis that do this well, but when you look at the Volkl Kendo 88, or you look at the Atomic Maverick 88, or if you look at especially the Black Crow's Octo, which is also a very expensive ski, but if you look at those skis, they have a ton of variety in their turn radius. This ski does not. It's pretty hard locked into its turn radius. So again, if a 17.9 meter turn radius is not like super long, but you're hard locked into it. If you try to get a shorter turn radius like you do with the Volkl Kendo or the Black Crow's Octo, this ski does not get there. I think that's because this is a little bit of an older design. Like I said before, this feels a lot like a race ski. But just so you know, for the money, there are other skis that can perform just as well in the carving. Maybe they're not as smooth, right? This is definitely a little bit more damp, but they have a lot more variety in their turn radius and how you can kind of find the soft spot in them and get different radiuses out of them. This one's a little bit more locked into its turn radius. Now, when you're in that turn radius, like I said before, it feels excellent, but there are other skis that are able to kind of get more radiuses out of the ski. Let me show you. For the same amount of money that you're getting this Stockli Montero AR, you could get a Black Crow's Octo. Has a 14 meter turn radius, but you can open up that radius and find a bunch of other turnstiles that match this Montero. And you get better off-trail performance, you get better powder performance, you get better soft snow performance, and you're getting a shorter turn radius and the same open one. I think for value, like if you're gonna spend that much on a ski, I would rather be on the Octo. Now that doesn't make this a bad ski, but I think that there are new skis coming out that provide more value and more range overall. If you love the 17.9, this is a damper ski and it's definitely performing on that radius better. But if you're somebody who likes a wide variety of turn radiuses, the Volkl Kendo 88 or the Black Crow's Octo offer much more range. So it just depends on what you want. Do you want something that does this exact range perfectly? Go with the Montero. If you want something that has a little bit more variety, not only in its turn radius, but also in its trail options or snow conditions, I would heavily consider the Black Crow's Octo. And neither of them pay me, so it doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean? I'm not here to sell you skis. I want to give you your options because you're going to spend your hard-earned money. You should know, like, okay, I want a specialized ski that feels damp and not chattery in a 17.9. Go with this Montero. It's a great option. But if you're somebody who likes a little bit more variety, there are other options out there. I think that there is new ski designs for the same price that are going to provide you more range. But that all being said, I think that like the timing on the ski is phenomenal. I think flex-wise, the way that it feels smooth in the flex is phenomenal. And I think that the way that it manages to stay damp while also giving you power out of the ski is, you know, can't be understated. It's pretty amazing that it's able to do that. But overall, it's starting to feel a little long in the tooth as some of these new skis come out and really push the boundaries of what a carving ski can do. Between the Black Crow's Octo or the Kendo 88, my mind has totally been opened up to what all mountain skis are capable of. Even looking at an Atomic Maverick 88 Ti. Sure, it doesn't have some of the performance features that this ski has, but it has such better range across the hill and has power to performance, has all these other things that this ski just doesn't have. So I think that this is a very well-tuned ski. I think that this is a great performing ski, but there are other options out there. So for me, overall, what would I give this for a score? I think if you're looking for something really close to a race ski without giving you the same chatter as a race ski, I think if you're looking for something with that kind of same top tier performance, this is an excellent option. But for me, it's a little hard locked into its radius and a little hard locked into firm snow conditions. Now, if you're on the East Coast and that's just what you have across the board, I would be very happy owning this on the East Coast. But for the West Coast, it's honestly a little bit more of a specialized tool. So when it comes to score, yes, these are pricey, but they do have the performance to back it up. If you're looking for a borderline race ski that's going to give you a little bit more of a smooth ride, this is a great option, but it just doesn't have the range that some of the other skis do. So for me, it's an 8.8 out of 10. I think it's an excellent option if you're looking for a nice carving ski and you like a smooth ride. This is one of the best ones out there. And really, it's a testament to what carving skis can do and how well timed and finely tuned a ski can be. It's a little hard on the value side and a little hard locked with the variety side, but overall, this is a great performance. And that's my score as somebody who's not paid by Stockli, not paid by Black Crow or anyone, and I paid my own money to demo this ski today. So I paid, I think it was like 65 bucks or whatever. I paid my own money to review, and I'm giving you guys my honest opinion. You know, I've got no skin in the game. I will link this down below. If you are set on buying this ski and you found this review helpful, I will put an affiliate link down below. But more than anything, I just care about telling you the truth about skis. I really, you know, whether you buy it or not is pretty inconsequential to me. So anyway, that's the end of my review. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way to support my channel. You can also become a member down below. You'll get to see videos early and also get ski recommendations, things like that. But as always, more than anything, thank you for just being here. You took the time out of your day to watch my video, and that means a ton to me. And without you guys, I could not afford to demo all these skis. So thank you for watching and making it possible for me to demo these skis. It's never lost on me that you guys are here, taking the time, and I hope more than anything you guys found this video to be helpful. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Okay. I don't feel like one either, but they... Okay. Gradual hold. Not a big platform.
Pois é. Mas dando em cima de mim. Enfim. Ainda por cima é uma tremenda gata. piorar minha situação. Se fosse mulher feia, tava tudo certo. Mulher bonita mexe com meu coração.